flyweights are set to headline UFC 301 down in Rio de Janeiro when Alexandre Pantoja looks to take on the streaking contender from Australia, Steve Erceg. Here for the preview, once again, Fortis MMA head coach Sayif Saud. Sayif, you got the second title defense for Alexandre Pantoja. He's doing it at home in Rio de Janeiro. Meanwhile, Steve Erceg, a huge opportunity to give Australia another champion.
You're absolutely right. This is a huge fight. Let's talk about the champion, the formidable Alexandre Pantoja. This guy is incredible. He's got this vaunted grappling game that he's added this aggressive striking attack where he cuts off the octagon. This forces a lot of clinches where he's also really, really good at setting up takedowns. When he gets guys to the ground, he's absolutely one of the very best on top or on the back. He takes on the young upstart, Steve Erceg. This kid has only had a few fights in the UFC, but he shines so brightly. He's so balanced, a very crisp boxing attack. He's also very good in the clinch, also very good on the ground, a BJJ black belt. He's gonna need that against Pantoja. This kid's just so well balanced and good everywhere. That's really what makes him dangerous. And this is kind of a fight of two guys that are good everywhere. One's super aggressive and comes at you 100 miles an hour. The other one's kind of tactical and patient. Can't wait to see how this fight plays out.
And because they're good everywhere, we're going to dive into the game film. They are perfect fighters for this show, UFC Breakdown, where we dive deep on the X's and O's and what makes them great. We'll start with the champion. He is known more for his grappling, but he does have 8 wins in his career by knockout. He hits hard for this weight class.
Absolutely. You know, he's known for that vaunted grappling, but he's grown in this aggressive striking. He cuts guys off. He puts combinations together. He's very good at cutting off the octagon. Let's take a look at some of the striking here from Pantoja. We're going to start here, and I put this in here with Manel Kape because Manel is looked at as one of the best strikers in the division, and Pantoja's already walked him back. This is the beginning of the fight. We can see now he's already starting to get behind this line, right? And Pantoja's starting to push him, okay? And when a fighter starts pushing you towards the back of the cage or the fence, you got to move. So we see Pantoja here. He starts moving Manel back, and Manel's like, all right, I got a circle. I don't want to get up against the fence. So we're going to freeze this right here, okay? We see Pantoja looking right at him, right? And he's got this fist right in front of him, and it looks like he's getting ready to throw a right hand in tight. Well, Manel sees the same thing, and we're gonna watch Manel's reaction, his reaction with his head. We see him bring his head backwards, okay? He starts bringing his head back, right? His foot doesn't move at all. But whoa, what's Pantoja doing? He's already changed lanes. He's looking down, and this leg is in motion. So what he does is he pushes guys back with his boxing, and when they try to skate out or move, he hammers the legs. Look at this leg kick, bang. Not only does he hammer the legs, but he's also gonna go right to where he's going. So that pressure never relents, okay? You try to skate out, he hits you, and then he cuts you off to where you're going, and you're gonna see this. We're just gonna move it really slowly. He's already walking to where Manel is going, okay? So it's kind of like you're never escaping that pressure. Now here we see him again in the same fight, and I put this in here because he can also wait and counter, right? He's not just a guy that's got to come forward like a psycho. He can fight and be a sniper, and here we see Manel is gonna come forward. We're gonna see Pantoja, he's gonna feint this little jab, okay? He feints the jab, he gets Manel to bite. So here comes Manel, all right? Manel throws, but you see Pantoja, he's just hanging out right here. He's got his hands up. Manel misses the shot, and now we see all this space in between them. Watch Pantoja right after the miss, the nice pull jab, boom, gets it right in his face. Look at the right hand right behind it. Bam, crushes him. So just that little pull distance, and then boom, boom, right over the top. But we're not done yet, okay? Excellent right hand. Let's look at the defense here. Kape is a great striker, so he's gonna try to come right back. We see Kape. Look at this. We're going to freeze this right here. It doesn't get any better than this. I mean, this is what you teach. Bicep to cheek, so there's no space. Look at this hand, too. I mean, he's in here super tight, pulled back, boom, boom, 1-2, come back with really, really tight defense. Watch Pantoja here. Block, block. Now look at this shoulder roll. Let's look at this freaking shoulder roll right here. This guy's looking like Floyd Mayweather here. You never really see this out of Pantoja. Watch the distance control here. Nope, you missed me. So Pantoja, man, a slick striker, very technical and very, very skilled, right? He can come forward, but he can also fight you at distance or going back. And finally, here we see him against Matt Schnell, and Schnell's coming downhill. He's an aggressive guy. He's coming right at Pantoja, and he comes right at him. Boom, huge overhand right, sits him down and ends the fight. Let's look at what happens here. Man, this is This is crazy impressive here by Pantoja in such a tight space. When you look at these guys, they're right on the A-line, okay? Directly on the A-line, right in front of each other. Schnell's coming forward. Pantoja's here. He's waiting for him. As Schnell comes forward, I want you to watch Pantoja get his head completely off the center line here. Let's look at his head, and we're gonna freeze this right here. Look at how high up he arcs this punch, right? As his head is drifting outside of the center, and his foot is also gonna end up drifting outside of the center. So we're just gonna let it play just a little bit more as Pantoja lets him come forward. Bang! I mean, you just see the execution here. Look at where Pantoja got his head. Look at where his foot is. This is the original line that Schnell stayed on. Look at that execution, right? I mean, kind of like a matador. He let him come forward. He got his head way offline, lands the big shot. So much experience from Pantoja. Excellent striking game, very dangerous.
And on the other side is Steve Erceg. Now, he is known for his striking and his boxing that he's put on display in the UFC. He's unbeaten so far in the octagon, largely because of his boxing.
Absolutely. This guy's got really crisp boxing, right? He's got a very good game of feinting and faking, setting guys up, gets them going high, gets them going low. Also a good kicking game, so we'll talk about that as well. We don't want to leave that out. So let's take a look at Steve Erceg. So here he is against our guy Schnell again. All right, flyweights. These are the top 10 guys. We're going to see a couple of them over and over again. But we see him throw that jab and then go low, okay? And we want to stop this, right? Let's go back just a hair here. Let's go back. Let's look at Schnell's hands and let's watch Schnell's eyes and the way that he reacts. And let's look at Erceg here. As Erceg goes down low, we're going to see Schnell start to track him low. Okay, now you see Schnell's eyes again, right? He's kind of looking down. But what started to happen was this hand that was up here, man, it starts trickling down. And this is the exact reaction he wants to get him. He wants to get him reacting down, right? Getting those hands down just a little bit because Erceg had a plan. I'm going to get that hand down just a little bit. As you go to counter, I'm going to land right over the top. And you see he just fits it right where that space was, right where that space that opened up was. He dropped Schnell, and we're gonna look at it one more time here. He goes low, and again, we see the space, right? Right over the top, and that's just that pinpoint detail. He showed that power in that left hook, put Schnell down, ends that fight. Was a big moment for him. And here he is again against Dvorak, and this was his first fight. Dvorak's been around for a long time as a seasoned guy. Just the intelligence here. So we're gonna watch him come forward. Okay, then he stops. Dvorak starts sliding out. He's like, you know, I'm not gonna chase you. And I want you to watch what he does here. This guy's so good at moving laterally and cutting off the octagon, okay? I want you guys to watch his feet and how he just slides over. He's not gonna pursue forward, he's gonna pursue laterally. Look at that. He wants to line up his right hand. That's one of his best weapons, right? That left hook and that right hand. So look at how he's comes over. Look at all those steps over, right? Never forward, constantly stepping. Dvorak's trying to exit out of there, right? Now we get back to this position. Dvorak can't just keep circling, right? So finally he's like, okay, I gotta kind of hold my ground. And we're gonna see Erceg here. He's gonna pump this front kick. He does this a lot. He uses that front kick a lot. I expect him to use it against Pantoja. And now he's gonna throw this left hand to the body. And the reason he's doing this, he doesn't want Dvorak to again exit. And you see Dvorak, he knows, he is like, man, I don't wanna be here. I wanna get outside of this angle. Right, he's cut me off. And the reason why he wanted to get outside this angle is a smart guy because that big right hand is coming. Tags Dvorak with that right hand, sends him stumbling around, reeling. Then you see him chasing again, and now watch him. He settles himself again. He never gets crazy inside the octagon. This guy's really intelligent. Again, we're gonna see him come all the way over here and meet where Dvorak is going. So let's watch the feet of Erceg as he starts sliding again. Never over-pursuing, never over-committing. This is gonna be really, really important against a fighter of Pantoja's level. Now, let's watch. Let's watch his hand here. There it is. Man, guys aren't really seeing this. This little Leon Edwards throw the punch in front. And again, the proof is in the pudding. He throws the punch. And watch Dvorak's reaction. I want you guys to watch what Dvorak does with his head. We can see a fighter's fooled by his reaction. You're gonna see Dvorak just gonna kind of move over out of the way, and then he's gonna start throwing a hook because he thinks, all right, I got out of the way, here's my counter. But what he doesn't see is this leg is in motion, okay, and it's coming right for his temple. And he stands there, and right exactly as he wanted to, you're gonna see that smack him right in the back of the head. So this kid is so good, he knew, right? Let me cut this off. In the middle of that chaos, let me throw this up here. He's going for a head kick. This guy's exciting, right? I mean, he's got the right hand in front. We're gonna watch Dvorak get out of the way, and Dvorak, okay, let me counter with a hook. He's not seeing this at all. Look at his eyes. Now, you know head kick's coming, you're not just standing there, right? But Erceg has that thing in motion, and he's gonna tag him with that baseball bat right to the back of the head. So Erceg, he's exciting. He's always lining up those power shots, whether it's the left hand, whether it's the right hand, whether it's a kick. This guy's dangerous on the feet, and he knows how to set up his power.
When they come together, as we kind of continue breaking them down, the clinch is going to be the leader to the takedown for Pantoja as a jiu-jitsu guy. How does he do in the clinch against a guy like Erceg?
This is going to be so big in this fight. The clinch, the fence game is going to be huge. Pantoja is so good at transitioning from strikes to takedowns. He creates chaos and scrambles, and all of a sudden he's on your back, and you're like, whoa, what happened? He's a master at this. So here he is against Royval, and we're going to see here, you know, they're just exchanging. Here's a kick. Now, here's a big hook, and he throws the punch, but let's look at how opportunistic Pantoja is. He's like, let me grab the head here. I'm in close. He grabs the head, and we're going to see him grab the tricep right here. This is big. So he's got the tricep, and he's got Royval, his head, right? And he's just going to continue to steer Royval here. You're going to see him kind of steer. He's going to land a big knee. Boom, there's one. He's pulling him down, and you can see this right here. He's pulling Royval downward, right? And he's got that tricep grip too, and he's pulling him down, and at the same time, he's bringing these things up. So Royval's thinking, what? I got to go back. I got to get my head up. I got to get out of here. And you can see from his positioning with his feet, he's not thinking about striking him. He's even got his feet together. He's just thinking about bailing out. This is exactly what Pantoja wants, right? Once he starts to bail out and really push up, you see Royval working hard, Pantoja's gonna release, right? You're going up, I'm going down, and he's gonna connect his hands right here. And once the hands are connected, it's over, man. It's done, guys. Once you get the hands connected under the butt, and you're gonna see this lock right here that he has. And Royval doesn't have time to get underneath. This underhook is so low. He's gonna get the takedown. And that's when he starts his relentless pursuit, right? Passing, exhausting guys. So all this starts in the clinch, all this chaos. He creates these scrambles and he gets these takedowns, or he lands great strikes. And here we see him with Alex Perez, and they're exchanging, but again, we're gonna see him, he's gonna go to grab the head, right? Now he's got the head control. So we see the head control on Alex Perez, and we see this knee is in motion. So he lands this big knee on Alex. He hits Alex with that big knee to the sternum, and they start exchanging knees, and then we're gonna see him shake him off, and we see Pantoja, he's gonna start attacking for this body lock right here. And Alex Perez is a good wrestler, so he starts to sniff it out, but here goes this scramble. So we see Pantoja, he kind of gets this little trip, and then they stop right here. Well, let's back it up a little bit. All right, so not a clean takedown, and you see Perez, he's like, all right, he's got a post. He's thinking to himself, I just gotta get up, right? I gotta get out of here. But look at Pantoja, man, right? He's like loading. That's all he needs. And Pantoja misses no opportunities. He's gonna get right on the back here. Just like that, before Perez even gets a chance to stand up. And like I said, everybody's surprised, even Megan O'Leary's surprised, right? I mean, how quickly he did that, okay? He's on the back, and not only is he on the back, he's got both hooks in, and now he's got the body triangle. And he's starting to grapevine the foot behind the knee. He's got the lock. I mean, Perez didn't even get taken down, man. He just kind of stumbled. This guy creates chaos in these moments, right? And now you're gonna see he's gonna go full crank mode here. And he's using that fulcrum point, right? He's using this as a fulcrum point. So much pressure across the body. So much pressure, and what a squeeze this guy has too, Pantoja, from all the years of grappling. And that's the end of the fight. So Pantoja will create these clinch situations and these grappling situations, and he'll find ways to win. Lastly, we want to put this in here. Erceg has got a great fence game. We're going to talk about it. Don't be surprised if this guy tries to take Pantoja down. The only losses Pantoja has are by getting out-wrestled, oddly enough, even with his ground game. So Wilson Hayes was a great grappler back in the day in the UFC, and Pantoja's been around a while, so we use this. We see the overhook here from Pantoja. right? And we see his ability here. I just want you to watch how loose he is. He's so loose here. He keeps that post, right? He's just hanging out. And we see he's super relaxed. He almost looks like a striker, right? Not like a guy who's frantic to get on the ground. He's so comfortable here. And this is super impressive. Wilson Hayes is going to sweep the leg, but just look at Pantoja. I mean, he keeps his foot down. He's already thinking about going up. And this is the difference right here. This is the difference between champions. He won't even allow himself to be held down. Look, he's already back up again. Now, he's back up on this whizzer. So this is going to be a huge battle here. Can Pantoja stay off the fence and stay upright and keep Erceg actually off him? Because Erceg's a big body. So I'm really want to see how that goes down between the two.
And then it begs the question, how's Erceg going to handle the clinch on the other side? Because he's well-rounded, as we said at the top of the show.
Man, as boring as this is, like this guy's fence game as a coach is like incredible, right? Yeah. He's so good at the fundamentals here with control and all the little small battles that happen. He's just so good at the basics. So we see right here, like, this is Costa, who's a very good grappler. I've seen this kid. He's a tank. He's very good. We see the wrist control, right? This is the wrist battle that's always going on. But Erceg got that big old noggin, right? I mean, he's so good at using this head for head control. I mean, he's always winning the head battle. And we always say the head is like an arm. I mean, you've got to use it to control the upper body. And Erceg does such a good job there. So we're going to see him. He's going to break this wrist control. He's got an underhook on the other side. We're going to watch him break the wrist control here. He's going to start punching, right? So he starts winning this battle here. Okay, and then they keep on fighting for the wrist. Costa's not going to let him have it. But look at Erceg. His head is so low. And then we're going to see Costa. Here he goes to pummel. Well, this changes everything, right? Once you pummel inside and you get underhooks, everything changes. Then you can kind of peel me off the cage. Watch this move here by Erceg. Look again, he gets his head even lower, okay, to try to get rid of that underhook. And you're going to see what he does here. This is so smart. He's going to go to the bicep control, and he's pushing him back, right? He lands the knee, and then we're going to see what he does with this arm right here. So he's got the control point here. Watch what he does with this. He lost the underhook, so he's going to get rid of that, and he's going to get a real deep whizzer. You see how he's got that real deep whizzer on that side? We see it right here. He's got that whole arm now wrapped inside of his arm. And what he's doing is he's controlling that side and this side. I'm going to wrap this arm and not let you lift that underhook, and I'm going to control your other side. And again, when his head is lower, he wins that battle. So technical stuff, not really that pretty and not really that cool, but you see, but this is what wins fights. This underhook can't raise. He's got that overhook, and he's controlling that bicep. So him and Costa keep going, and Costa's like, you know what? Man, I'm feeling this arm bar. Look at the head control again. We see him start going to work, and he's got it, and he goes for it. And this arm is in there. The reason we put that in is Pantoja is so good on the ground, you never know. But just watch how calm this kid is, Erceg. He's just calm, just pulls it out. And again, watch him. He's on the head, and now look at the position. He's won the position. He's here. His head is low, and he's got the control again. So this guy just like follows the rules, man. He's always winning positions, and he's always one step ahead. Here he's against Dvorak. And again, now this is him offensively wrestling. We're going to see him attacking the legs here, trying to get these reaps and these takedowns, trying to get back control. And even if he doesn't get it, again, these are little things. Look at how he puts all of his weight. Well, look at this. This sucks for him. His legs are up. He's bent over. All this weight is coming down, compressing his body. And this exhausts you, right? And these are the little things that you see a fighter do. Sometimes guys just stand up. It's like, nah, man, you have the waist, but give him a lot of pressure, right? These are the things that make people tired. Again, leaning, using that weight. And the kid's big. He's 5'8", 5'9". He's a bigger kid. I look for Erceg to use this fence game and really try to wear down Pantoja. Will he be successful? I don't know, and that begs the question of what we're going into next.
I love the idea of fight fans that like this show at their watch parties impressing their friends with fence game. Yeah, because you brought it down. Take a look at his fence game.
It's important here.
All right, now we get to the grappling. This is where Pantoja really shines, and it's what allows him to be a pretty reckless and dangerous striker, because if you go down, he's good there too.
You're absolutely. He's just one of the very best we've ever seen in the flyweight division on the ground. His top control, smothering, his back control. I mean, he'll finish you at any minute. He's so good at manipulating the choke. The guy is so dangerous here on the ground. And let's take a look. And he just finds a way. So here he is against Brandon Moreno. And this was an absolute war, their last fight. And we see Brandon is gonna duck under this, and he was hitting Pantoja with these elbows. He had broken his hand. And we see Pantoja. Pantoja, when he gets his mind made up on something, he doesn't care. We're gonna see this elbow right off the break. Boom, big elbow. Look at what Pantoja does. He uses that moment of getting hit and just rolls with it, and what? He gets right in on the legs, right? He doesn't even think about, oh, I'm getting hit, I need a block. When he goes in charge mode, that's it, man. He sees red, and he gets these takedowns. We see him run the legs here at Brandon, and man, this is just the impressive stuff that wins fights, right? And we see Brandon kind of trying to turn in and create a scramble right here with this, and we're gonna see Pantoja just win here. And then, again, now you're gonna have all that ground control right there, and that's how he controls these rounds. And here he is again in this fight with Brandon, and this is the same situation. Brandon hits him with that elbow, that lead elbow. But look at Pantoja driving to the fence, and here's where he's so good. You do not want to get here with Alexandre Pantoja. He's so good at hooking that leg inside, getting this back control. Again, we talked about it being like a sticker on your guy, right? I mean, just stuck on top of him. And again, we see Brandon trying to work and fight the hands. Pantoja's bleeding, right? He's gotten busted up. But whenever he needs these takedowns, he's got him. And now he's on the back, and now you're dealing with his back control, and you're trying not to get choked. So Pantoja can always lean on that wrestling and create those scrambles. Lastly, here we see him against Brandon Royval. He's got the lock, right? He's working his game. Royval's doing a good job. He's tall. He's kind of fighting the hands. And you see Pantoja, he's going to get slick here. He's going to kick the leg out. Boom, there's that leg kick. Now he's down. We're going to freeze this right here. Let's just talk about this. This is some of the best jiu-jitsu you'll see, especially in MMA, and especially no-gi. So we have no hooks right here, okay? We have no hooks. So when we don't have hooks, what we want to do is we want to underhook the guy and hold him to us. So that way his back is to our chest. Since we have no leg control, we have to make sure we control the upper body. So that's what we do. It's like a reverse backpack. So I'm trying to hold your shoulders. I'm trying to keep you tight. So we see Pantoja has no hooks, and we're just going to break this down. So he's got no hooks. He keeps that control. Once he throws this hook in, he starts to take this hand out, okay? So he's got the hook on that side, and he can take that out and start going to a seatbelt. You're gonna see he's gonna go over the top now because the hook is controlling the bottom. So as the hook controls the bottom, right, this controls the top, okay? He still keeps this here because he doesn't have a hook on that side, all right? Well, you're a pretty smart guy. I think you know what's about to happen. So he holds that, he holds that, he holds that, and Royval's like, oh man, he got a hook. Royval knows. He gets that seatbelt. Now watch the dexterity in this leg. Like he still doesn't have that hook. Royval's blocking like he knows what he's doing. He's trying to get his shoulders back. He's trying to get back here, get shoulders back, not allow that hook, sit back, create a scramble. This just is a mastery level. Watch Pantoja here. Watch the dexterity in this leg, right? And this is like that BJ Penn type of dexterity. He's gonna take this leg, he's gonna bring it all the way up, and he's gonna fit it. And you look at this, there's really no space here. The hands are here. He's gonna fit it right in there, man. And this is just that mastery level. And so now he's got both hooks, he's got the seatbelt. You see he doesn't have the reverse backpack grip. I've got my seatbelt, I got both hooks. And this is what Pantoja does. So now he's got your back. And, you were doing all the right things, trying to get shoulders out, and now he starts attacking. He's so good at hand fighting. Now he's got the body triangle. And Royval, again, he's fighting hands. Coach is yelling at him, fight the hands, but here it comes. Once he gets that grip, and he's got this figure four lock, look at Royval's body. He starts torquing on the body. And once this guy connects his hands, man, it's something fierce. We saw it with the Perez fight. He's just gonna keep adjusting. He keeps switching the grip from short choke to a full choke. And again, we see this torque and the dexterity, because usually that puts pressure on that ankle, and guys, it hurts him. Not Pantoja, right? He's got the short choke here, and he's underneath the neck. And that's all she wrote for Royval. So this is the danger with Pantoja. You can know everything that you're supposed to on the ground. He will still find a way to finish you from the back. One of the best there is at flyweight.
And now we switch back to the Steve Erceg side. He's known for his boxing and his technique there on the feet. he has more submissions than he does knockouts in his MMA career. And that's the big question. How does he handle the grappling attack with one of his own?
You're absolutely right, Brendan. This guy started as a jiu-jitsu guy, right? And he is a submission guy, okay? And he's very good. He's a BJJ black belt, a successful Brazilian jiu-jitsu competitor as well. And he's shown us in his time in the octagon his ability to get up with his guard, his active guard, and his ability to control guys like Costa, who are really good grapplers. So he's going to need every bit of that to go against the champion here. So here we see Costa shooting this shot, and this is so good right here. This is such good defense, man. I love this. So we see Costa, he's trying to flare him, and Erceg kind of had that little whizzer. And Costa, you know, he can't quite make the corner, but watch what happens here once we stop here. So we see right away. Number one, Erceg is on the head, pushing the weight down, which is exactly what you want. Costa still has his leg, so he's trying to limp that leg out, right? But he's driving that head down. He's putting all of his weight, again, what? Completely down on Costa, so Costa can't drive up, right? And you want to shove that head down as far as you can. Costa, like I told you, the guy's a tank, so he's like, man, I'm too strong for that. He starts to work his way up. Erceg's like, this guy's strong. Because, I mean, he's trying to put all of his weight on him. Look, he's trying to get there, but Costa's a big, strong kid. So Costa starts to get up. Now let's watch the fight IQ and the intelligence of this kid. He's like, you know what? Since you're going to get up, I'm just going to grab your ankle. So now Costa, as he's trying to pull up, Erceg is anchoring himself on his ankle. So he's got double that load, right? This is so intelligent by this kid. Well, Costa's really strong, so he keeps on building. And let me find another handle. Let me grab the back of your knee. This is all just, right? Smart. Okay, he's constantly thinking in there. Costa's still trying to build up, but we see he's kind of stopped that takedown now. I want you to watch this leg right here. This leg is gonna go from the inside now on the single. He's got enough balance and he's stopped the momentum to get it on the outside. Once you get it on the outside, you can kind of use it as a counter pressure, right? And now you've kind of got a good base. You're counter pressuring off that leg and you've got a good base. He's still got a hold of this. He gets so confident though now, he's gonna kind of stop that takedown. Now there's no momentum. Now he goes to the wrist. Okay, so he systematically just stopped this takedown and kept that pressure on Costa, who's a good grappler. And then eventually, he's so confident in this position with his balance. Here they come. Here come the big elbows to the head. So this is something that he could definitely be in with Pantoja. Will he be confident enough to throw elbows there and stay in that position? I don't know. Here he is again on the ground. We can't act like this guy's not gonna hit the mat. He definitely might. He might not, but we've gotta go over it, right? So he's so good at using these butterflies, and you're gonna see him, they're gonna be inside of the thighs. He's gonna get his feet inside of the thighs of Costa, and he's gonna elevate him, he's gonna lift him, right? And he's gonna use this elevation to create a scramble. We're gonna see this. He's holding him here, holding that posture down. He's gonna elevate the bottom half of his body upwards, right? By holding him in position, lifting his legs. And here we go. We're gonna see the elevation. And Costa's gonna try to pass here because that's what you do when a guy tries to elevate you. So now here comes the scramble. He's gonna need that ability to get off of his back against a guy like Pantoja. Now here he is on top. And again, we talked about Costa's skill. Now he's gonna go full mount, and look at this, right? I'm gonna push your head all the way down to the ground, and here come the strikes. I mean, super aggressive. Right when he takes the mount, he goes to work. We see him. Here come the big shots. All right, you turn over, right? You turn over. Right when you turn over, and I want to talk about this, he isn't even all the way over. He still has this post. I love this attack in the neck, right? You see, same thing as Pantoja. They're very similar. Costa isn't even over, but watch this attack. And man, he gets it tight right here. So even though he's on the side, he just says, I'm going for it. He's so aggressive in all these moments. And again, Costa's a very good jiu-jitsu black belt. So we see Erceg on top. He is no punk when it comes to the ground game. His jiu-jitsu is very good. Can he hang with Pantoja? That's a totally different question, but we'll see.
Yeah, and what a setting for him to do it in a championship fight in Brazil if he can get it done with his jiu-jitsu. We'll go X factors, and now we'll start with the challenger, Steve Erceg, who's unbeaten in the UFC and getting a huge opportunity with where he is in the rankings, but a lot of people think he has the skills to pull off what would be an upset.
It's absolutely right. I mean, this kid's got 3 fights and everybody's talking about it. But, he's new blood in the division, and that's what Mick Maynard is trying to do, right? This kid has shown a kind of balance that is just different. His fight, for him to get dropped in with Dvorak and beat him the way he did and just fight these guys that are ranked, he just looks so calm, right? He's the new breed. These guys coming up, the younger guys, they're so polished because that's all they know. They've grown up learning MMA, not jiu-jitsu and then this and that. You just got to give these guys credit, right? And his team comes from a small team in Perth. He's been with these guys his whole life. These guys are focused on this kid, and this kid's dangerous. So it's his fight IQ and his balance that make him so dangerous. So let's just take a look at exactly what we're talking about. And this is what's allowed him to have so much success. So again, we talk about his ability to track guys. He loves to keep guys where? Right in the middle. He's a little bit different. He likes to keep them right in front of that right hand, right? Or that left hook. He wants to keep them kind of right in the center. And he's got a 68-inch reach, and so does Pantoja. So it's going to be interesting. But I think the reason why, let's watch his setup. So let's watch the lead hand here of Erceg. We're going to see him. He's going to feint that jab, which he just did, and he got a little reaction out of Costa. Now he's going to act like he's going to go to the body. Let's freeze it right there. So he throws this little body jab, and we see Costa's hand go from here to here. He kind of goes to check it. Well, that's all he needed, right? Watch the shot right here. Right over the top, the right hand, right when the hand goes down. Clean, too. So it just shows the intelligence. I'm poking at you. Once I get the reaction, I'm right over the top. Same as the Schnell fight, right? Calculated violence. Nails him with that right hand, but we're not done. So there's the right hand. Costa comes in on the shot, right? A pretty good shot, a good reactive shot. Look at the reaction from this kid. And again, we talk about all the details. He's already on that leg. He's already kind of flipping him over. He reacted with a beautiful right hand, a beautiful sprawl. And now he's not done. He stuffs the takedown, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go right to mount. I mean, this just shows a complete fighter here. Feint and fake, hit that right hand, stuff the wrestling. Now I'm on the ground, and I'm dominating. So this guy's really good. Now he's pushing the head down. He's already going to work. Things got so ugly for Costa so fast there. It's just an example of how good he is. And finally, I want you to look at the footwork here of this kid. And he's against the fence, but he will never allow himself to get trapped. And the reason he's so good at moving side to side is because he's so good at cutting people off. So he understands what he doesn't want to happen. Let's look at the movement here from him. He's left, he's right. And then again, okay, he's facing him, right? He's looking at him. He's continuously moved off the fence. Watch this head movement here from Erceg. Even when he stops to throw in the pocket, watch where he puts his head. He gets it way offline. Man, it's a good thing he got it offline. That punch was coming right for his head. So again, this kid's so intelligent, constantly making the right read, and in real time doing the right thing. So there's one, he moves his head. Now he's out of there. Oh, let me get out of that. You're not gonna get me. There's the front kick. Look at all these missed punches. And now again, he's reset the middle. So this kid is so smart and so relaxed inside the octagon. Man, that's what makes him scary, right? There's not a position where he looks uncomfortable. And in 25 minutes, a whole lot can happen. What will happen in the 4th and 5th round is really the question for me. He only has 13 fights, and he is fighting Pantoja, who has 32 fights, and we're going to get into that next.
Yeah, and you mentioned the setting of Pantoja going 25 minutes. He's done that with a championship belt on the line in each of his last 2 fights.
Yes.
He won it. He defended it against Brandon Royval. First appearance of 2024 for Pantoja. What's the X factor here as he fights at home in Brazil?
I mean, just the pace and the pressure is unlike anybody else at flyweight, and when you deal with this guy, you've just got to know that this guy, he seems like he has a lull, like he's kind of tired, and then he just powers up out of nowhere. I mean, the will of this man is something that needs to be considered here. 32 pro fights now. He's got the experience as well. Never been finished, right? The only times he's ever lost was from grappling and getting taken down. So again, don't be surprised. But this guy will turbo it up, and he'll just find a way to win. And he's got all the skills to do it. So this just makes him so scary to deal with. And when he's focused like this, I mean, he's one of the very best that we have in the UFC. And I don't think he gets enough credit for how dangerous he is. And so let's just cue this up here. So we know Royval's a striker. We know he wants to move. We know, their game plan is like, you got to get distance. You got to stay away. look at Pantoja. Like, let's watch the way he does this. All right. He cuts guys off, man, like there is just no tomorrow. I mean, slowing it down would be a disservice. He's right in the kick. I'm right in your face. You're not going to get away. And we're going to stop it right here because he does this unique thing where he'll go here from orthodox and he'll switch to southpaw. Okay, can I use it really fast? So step over here. He's doing this, and guys are gonna what? They're gonna try to exit out. So he'll step to southpaw, and then he throws these hooks to kind of try to consolidate them, and then they run out of real estate, and he shoots the takedown. And this is exactly what's gonna happen right here. We're gonna see him. He's gonna switch to that. There's that double hook, and Royval's just backing up like, what? What's happening, right? Because you're seeing one look, and then he goes turbo button the other way, and he starts throwing that right hook, and he gets to this position over and over again. And this is the big cage. He just knows how to cut off the octagon. So that's going to be a real battle between him and Erceg. And here we go. Here we see him again against Wilson Hayes. And we talk about Pantoja exploding, right? He'll lull, and then he'll explode. And it just seems like it comes out of nowhere. And we've seen it now in these multiple title fights. And here he is again with an explosion. He's in front of Wilson Hayes, and we see him just explode into this right hand and just tag him, right? Drops him, but that's not the impressive part. It's the ground and pound, right? The relentlessness, the positions here. Wilson Hayes is good. Look at the shin position. We're gonna see Wilson Hayes try to come underneath. He's gonna step right outside of that, right? He's so good on the ground and understands these positions so well that if he gets you hurt on the ground, he can either submit you or he can TKO you really, really quickly. So Pantoja has that turbo button, man, and he will hit it.
Yeah, not many flyweights can boast the finishing rate. He's got 18 finishes, and how well-rounded he is for a submission guy. 10 wins by tap out.
Absolutely.
8 wins by knockout.
Absolutely.
Pantoja hits really hard. Now let's go to keys to victory. I'll hit that for you, and we'll start with the champion. What does Pantoja need to do to keep that belt?
He's got to pressure from the start, right? He can't let this Erceg kid get his rhythm and his pace and get comfortable and start cutting him off and start setting up his strikes, right? Or his wrestling. So he's such a pressure fighter, but we know Erceg and his team are going to be ready for that. But Pantoja has shown, like you said, 2 5-round fights, the ability to kind of keep turning it on. The fight was on the line in the 5th round against Brandon Moreno, and he just got that takedown, right? He got that position. So he's shown us that will and that ability. So pressure from the start. He's also got to dominate the ground positions. We touched on it. The only losses he has, right? Askarov, Dustin Ortiz back in the day. He got out-wrestled. He would get out-positioned. He would be on his back for kind of longer periods of time. So he's got to dominate those ground positions, have that top control, not ever allow Erceg to kind of hold him down and slow down the fight. Lastly, he cannot get reckless, man. People love watching this guy because of that, that pace, right? That relentless, he just comes out like a bat out of hell, right? Can't do that against Erceg, I see Erceg trying to do what he did with Schnell, getting the head way off center and throwing those overhands or throwing the uppercuts or the knees. His team is going to try to catch Pantoja making some mistakes, coming forward like that, so he's got to be really, really careful in those exchanges.
We'll switch to Erceg, who comes in looking to pull the upset and give Australia another belt.
That's right. This kid, I think he's got to keep it standing early, okay? And the reason why I say that is he's got a really good striking attack. They have the same reach, but he's very comfortable there. Pantoja does make some mistakes sometimes defensively. Can he expose those mistakes? Can he hurt Pantoja possibly and slow him down or cut him and kind of change the fight, right? We know how good Pantoja is on the ground, and he is too, but in the beginning, I think he should try to keep it standing and really see what he can produce. Second, he's got to keep his back off the fence, right? We talked about Pantoja's ability to take the back against the cage and also just his ability to get guys down in these clinch positions. He cannot lose rounds from those dominant positions or even having his back against the fence. This is what he likes to do to people. He likes to put their back against the fence. So again, not the most exciting thing, but this is going to be a big part of the fight. And lastly, he's got to win the scrambles, man. He cannot end up on bottom or get his back taken. That threat of choke with Pantoja is always there. He's so high level. We don't know how this kid's going to handle the lights. He's handled them pretty good, but we're talking about a 25-minute, 5-round fight in Rio with the chant going on. I know what it feels like, you know what I mean? Like, he's got to be ready for that moment. And he's got to win these scrambles. And the real key point is, can he get on top of Pantoja and hold those positions and wear him out? That's going to be where we're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And possibly win a decision in this fight if he can't hurt him with that knockout power with the left hook or the right hand.
Huge turning point for the flyweight division as Alexandre Pantoja looks to add to his championship legacy. All the attention is going to be on him, this time as a headliner at home in Rio de Janeiro, where Steve Erceg, does he bring the belt back to Perth, Western Australia, where the octagon will make its way down under later this year. Sayif Saud, excellent job on the preview as always. I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. Enjoy UFC 301. Thanks for watching UFC Breakdown.